What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into another preview and prediction. This time, we're going to be looking at the Big East men's basketball tournament. So far, we've looked at the SEC, ACC, Big 12, and Big 10. And finally, we're going to be looking at the Big East, which will be tipping off on Wednesday, March 12th in Madison Square Garden in New York City. So it's definitely going to be an exciting tournament. So before we make our predictions, as always, we're going to be looking at the top four seeds and which teams has earned that bye. Usually we see in the other tournaments, you earn a double bye for number four, one of the top number four seeds. But in this tournament, you don't get to play in the first round and you get to play in the quarterfinals, which will be tipping off on Thursday, March 13th. So let's go ahead and get to the top four teams that will be competing in the Big East tournament, starting with the number one seed in this conference tournament is St. John's, and you got to give credit to the St. John's team. At the moment, they are projected number 3 seed in the NCAA tournament, and St. John's won the Big East tournament for the first time. It feels like in quite some time, so you got to give credit to Rick Pitino's squad there. So St. John's definitely looking like a scary team to make a big run in this conference tournament, as well as the NCAA tournament, excuse me. Heading on now to the number 2 seed is Creighton. The number 3 seed is the two-time defending national champs, Connecticut. Connecticut's definitely had some up and downs this season, but they are starting to play well down the stretch, so watch out for the Huskies in this tournament. And then number 4 seed is Xavier. Xavier right now is solidly on the bubble, so it would definitely help them if they pull off the victory over number 5 seed Marquette. So maybe with a win, Xavier would be locked into an at-large bid. If they lose that game, though, they could be on the outside looking in, depending on how many bid stealers there are in not only the mid-major tournaments happening this week, but as well as the power conferences. So with that, let's go ahead and start with our first game of the tournament, which will be at 4 o'clock p.m. All these games look like will be on Peacock, and then we'll be switching to Fox. So the first one is number 9 seed Butler versus number 8 Providence. Definitely an evenly matched team between Butler and Providence. But give me a small upset here with the 9 seed, the Butler Bulldogs, advancing on to face off against number 1 seed St. John's in the quarterfinal round. So moving on to the second round of this first round here. So we go to number 10 DePaul versus number 7 Georgetown. I don't see an upset happening here. I do have the Hoyas moving on. So we have a nice little 7 versus 2 matchup in the second round between Georgetown and number 2 seed Creighton. Number 11 seed Seton Hall and number 6 seed Villanova. Seton Hall has pulled off a couple of upsets, mainly against UConn earlier in the season, but not the season that Seton Hall had in mind. Villanova has been on the wrong side of the bubble. They kind of been on that first 4 out teams. But Villanova, if they do want to make the NCAA tournament, they will have to go on and make a deep run. But I will have them advancing on. I think that Seton Hall is definitely going to play them close. But I think that Villanova, as like UConn, has been playing well down the stretch. So give me Villanova. Moving on now to the quarterfinal rounds. Let's move on to the number 1 seed in this tournament, St. John's. They're going to be facing off against the number 9 seed Butler Bulldogs. And I have the Johnnies moving on to the semifinal round of this tournament. And then probably the game of the quarterfinals to watch is number 5 seed Marquette and number 4 seed Xavier. Marquette has really struggled down the stretch here. They definitely, at the start of the bracketology, they were like a number 1, number 2 seed, and now they have fallen all the way down to a number 6, number 7 seed. Like I mentioned, Xavier's solidly on the bubble. Xavier's really playing well, and I'm going to continue that momentum with Xavier going on there. So I think it's going to be a great game, probably the game of the tournament if we get this and also get St. John's in UConn, but I am going to go with Xavier there. So far, all of the top seeds advance. Number 7 seed Georgetown versus number 2 seed Creighton. I have Creighton moving on here as well, so give me Creighton. And then number 6 seed Villanova, number 3 seed Connecticut. I think that Villanova definitely can pull off this upset, but I just don't really see it. Give me UConn to move on there. So we have all top 4 seeds advancing. I know it's all chalk so far, but that's just really how I see this tournament going there. So we have Creighton and UConn in one semifinal, and we have Xavier and St. John's in one of them. Xavier with a big win here over St. John's could really cement themselves into the NCAA tournament. So I could see them making a run there. St. John's has really been dominant in the Big East, but there's got to be an upset every once in a while. I think that Xavier's playing for their tournament lives. So give me the Xavier Musketeers to pull off the upset over St. John's. I feel like this team is going to be desperate to try and get a couple of wins to really seal themselves into the NCAA tournament. So give me Xavier. And then Creighton and UConn, I am going to go with the Connecticut Huskies. I think that this team had their lumps earlier in the season. Now they're starting to play well and up to their potential. So give me UConn there. So we have an interesting matchup of a 4 seed and a 3 seed facing off in the Big East Championship. And ultimately, I have UConn taking the Big East Conference Tournament in 2025. So that is my predictions. Let me know your picks in the comments section down below. It's definitely shaping up to be an exciting conference tournament for all the conferences involved for this week. So let me know your picks down in the comments, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's video, and I will catch y'all next time. So long for now.